This Friday, we have a new roster update with brand new upgrades and downgrades. So in today's video, we're going to go through it. I'm going to give you my predictions. And if it's anything like the last one we got, we're going to see a lot of new diamond players and maybe a few surprises here and there. Last time, they upgraded and downgraded about 400 different players. And I only got a list of maybe 20. So if there's anybody in particular you think could get upgraded or downgraded, let me know in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're 500 subs away from 3K. And let's hop right into it. Starting right off the book, we gotta give the Padres some love because Manny Machado's playing like the NL MVP right now, so he could get a boost up to around a 90 overall. But they also have some new guys that could go up a tier. One of them is Joe Musgrove. He was dominant last year after coming over from the Pirates. Wasn't very good on the Pirates, but can you blame him? It's the Pirates. Not much good happens over there. I think this man finally gets the diamond boost. He's 4-0 with a 2.08 ERA, 2.36 FIP, a whip just under 0.9. He literally walks nobody. He's averaging 0.7 walks per 9. Ridiculous. And then he's got decent strikeout numbers, averaging 9.5 per 9. And you see with his inside edge, he got +1 to hits per 9, +1 to Ks per 9, and he already went up 1 overall. I don't think he's too far off. I think he'll get the boost right to an 85 overall. I think he'll be a new diamond on Friday. Another Padre that needs some love is Eric Hosmer. He hasn't lived up to the hype that was behind his contract he signed with the Padres, but he hasn't been bad either. But so far this year, he's hitting .351, on base percentage of .427, OPS of .953, and an OPS plus of .188. He's starting to look more and more like the MVP candidate he was when he was on the Royals. I doubt he keeps this up all year, but he's still looking like he can hover his average right around 300 with the 380 on base. And after the starts he's having over a month into the season, I think we can boost him up to right around a gold. If they don't go that far, just under at like a 79. Probably the least talked about pitcher in Major League Baseball right now because he's on a bad team. It's Zach Gallen. Like, has anybody heard anywhere on the national media talking about the season Zach Gallen's having right now? Only reason I even know how good he's doing is because he's on my fantasy team. He's on a terrible team. 5 games, he's only 2-0. And while 2-0, he's getting a decision about 40% game. Should get him more because right now he has a .95 ERA. He leads the league. His ERA is under 1 after 5 starts. He also leads in ERA plus at .417. He's got a whip barely over .7, and he's doing this all on a terrible team, which definitely plays a factor. He's a 79 overall. He's already a borderline gold, and you see +4 hits per 9, +4 Ks per 9, boost him up to an 81. So if he gets like +2 to anything, he's gonna get a gold. He's one of the few guys I can almost guarantee gets an upgrade this week. Hey, I gotta show the Brewers some love. One of the best teams in the National League so far. Pitching still dominating, and they're up there for the league lead in home runs and RBIs. Doubt it continues, but I want to get the upgrades in while we can. One of those upgrades is Willy Adams. I was very indecisive of how I felt about the trade with the Rays last year. Day in, day out, it shows why David Stearns runs this team and I do not. His batting average is low. We don't pay attention to that. But he still has 8 home runs, which is second in the league. There's a bunch of people with 9, so I guess technically it's like 5th. He's got an OPS of 838, and a lot of people predicted him to fall off from last year's success he had, but he's keeping it going. I just think with the 2 years combined, he's good enough to get a +2 overall boost up to a gold. This one's least likely, but it's one to keep an eye on, but Rowdy Tellez is on gold watch. Believe it or not, since Prince Fielder left the Brewers after the 2011 season, year in and year out, they've been searching for their first baseman for the future. I believe there was only one season where we had a starting first baseman back-to-back seasons, and that was Jesus Aguilar and Eric Thames. Really hoping Rowdy Tellez is that guy. He's off to an insane start right now. 7 home runs, 24 RBIs, an 887 OPS, 152 OPS plus. He's looked really good. It's all come after a hot stretch over the past couple weeks, and I don't think he'll get the boost up to a gold yet. He might go up to a 78 overall, but he's somebody to keep an eye on. He might not be a bad idea to invest in a couple of Rowdies. I think this is pretty easy. Kyle Wright's pitched like an NL Cy Young contender all year. He just did get an April Player of the Month card showing how good he was in April. I don't know if that's going to have any effect on these upgrades or downgrades. Doubt it. But the way he started so far this year, he should definitely not be a bronze. 1.74 ERA in 5 starts. Whip under 1. He's only averaging 2 walks per 9 with 10.7 Ks per 9. And he's really starting to form into that top prospect he was in the Braves system. I think this is Kyle Wright's breakout year. Don't be surprised if he doesn't fall off and he continues his success all throughout the year. Hardest pitcher in the game by far is Loup. I don't care what anybody says. If I face this guy in BR, I know my run's done. He's just so damn hard to hit. Funky delivery, great pitch mix, 102 hits per 9 for a silver. This man's been on all sorts of teams over the past couple years. Since 2018, he's been on the Blue Jays, the Phillies, Padres, the Rays, the Mets, and now the Angels. But this is the third year in a row he's been a dominant reliever, and nobody wants to keep him. 2020 with the Rays, he had a 2.52 ERA. Last year with the Mets in a full season, he had a 0.95 ERA. That's in 65 games, dude. That's no fluke. And then this year in 12 games, he's got a 1.42 ERA. ERA is not everything. There's a lot of other metrics to it, but in all three seasons, he's had a whip under 1, doesn't walk anybody, doesn't give up a lot of home runs, and he's just been one of the premier relievers in Major League Baseball. Vastly underrated. I know he's on the Astros, and yeah, we have to hate the Astros. They cheated, blah, blah, blah. But Yordan Alvarez, I think, is one of the best all-around hitters in Major League Baseball. He can't play defense. He's a career DH. He is Nelson Cruz, a left-handed Nelson Cruz. But he's gonna hit you 30 plus bombs, 100 plus RBIs, average anywhere from 250 to 280, good on base percentage, and he just does it all on the offensive side of things. He's got 8 home runs already, 384 on base, a 957 OPS with a 183 OPS plus. I don't think he's far off. He's already an 84, so he doesn't need much to go diamond. And obviously you're not gonna be able to touch any of his fielding or his speed metrics, but just a little bit of a boost to the contact maybe is enough to get him to an 85 overall. And then to spoil it, I got like 3 more cards that are on Diamond Watch right here. I could see a handful of them getting that boost. One of them is George Springer of the Blue Jays. He's probably the second best center fielder in all of baseball, right behind Mike Trout. And a healthy George Springer, you can argue, is a top 20 player in baseball. 350 plus on base percentage every year. When he's healthy, he'll hit you 30 plus bombs. Last year, he only played 78 games, but he still hit 22 home runs. This year in 29 games, he has 6. Since he got called up in 2014, he has had 1 season with his OPS under 800. His lowest OPS plus season was 114, which is 14% above league average. In the last 3 years, which is generally what SDS based these results on, he's had a 141, a 141, and then this year a 153 OPS plus. George Springer should easily be a diamond come Friday. You could boost a lot of things. You could boost his contact, you could boost his power, just something to get him to that 85 overall. Should have been a diamond coming into the season already, but I got Xander Bogarts finally going to an 85 overall. This man is one of the best hitting shortstops the game has to offer. We always talked about Corey Seager, Javi Baez, Carlos Correa, that big free agent class we had last year, but I put Xander Bogarts right at the top. He does not play good defense, and he could be on a new team this year. It sounds like he wants out of Boston. He's a free agent after the year. This man has done nothing but hit throughout his career. He's hitting 343 this year. He hit 23 home runs last year, 33 in 2019, so we know he has big time power. Average is always hovering right around 300, gets on base at a good clip. So I really think we could boost those power numbers up a little bit just to get him to that, because his contact's already so damn high. But if there's one man on this list that deserves to be a diamond, it's Xander Bogaerts. Next one's a little less likely, but he should at least be on Diamond Watch, and that's Josh Bell of the Nationals. Nationals don't have a lot of good things to talk about these days, but Josh Bell, expiring contract, he should be somebody to look at the trade deadline. He could be one of the biggest bats on the market. In 343 this year with a 442 on base, 971 OPS. It's been amazing for them. He was also really good last year. 27 home runs, 88 RBIs, 347 on base. And then we don't count 2020. It was a shortened season. Everybody sucked. So in 2019, he had a career season with 37 home runs, 116 RBIs, right around a 370 on base. Josh Bell can mash, so he may not get the boost up to blue paint this week, but keep an eye on him for coming weeks. If he keeps this up, it won't take long for him to get that upgrade. Okay, so we talked about the upgrades. Now we gotta talk about the players who are kind of sucking right now. They're just undeserving of their overall rating. Let's start out with my least favorite team, the Cardinals. And I said he should have got downgraded last downgrade, but he needs to this time. Yadier Molina. I feel like the only reason he's a gold at this point is because of name recognition, but he just hasn't been good for a couple years now. The man's provided provided virtually nothing on offense so far. 230 average, 525 OPS, only 1 home run, 2 RBIs. The amazing thing to me is he has 61 at-bats so far. He's only struck out 8 times. That's amazing. But he has 0 walks. He has 61 at-bats and he hasn't walked once. On top of that, his defense still really good, but it's not where it used to be. Last year, he had a 1.5 defensive WAR, which is good. But before that, he hasn't had a defensive WAR season of 1+ since 2015. And if you think I'm just being biased because I don't like the Cardinals or Yadier Molina, his offense hasn't been good either. On-base percentage under 315 since 2016. Hasn't hit more than 11 home runs since 2018. Yadier Molina, great career, but he is not the same player that he once was. He needs to get down to a silver. And just to show you I'm not completely biased, Lorenzo Cain's ass needs to get down to a bronze. This man shouldn't be starting center field for Milwaukee. He literally has a noodle bat up there. These are Lorenzo Cain's peripherals this year. Just a lot of soft contact. You could just tell he looks old out there. I love Cain, but he's not the player that he once was. And he's just been terrible all year. I hate to do it to him, but I need to see him down to a bronze, and I need to see Tyrone Taylor starring in center field every day. Down to another team I strongly dislike, the Cubs. Frank Schwindl was a cool story last year, but he's already got demoted this year. I think that tells you a little bit of how this season's going for him so far. Batting average of 209, only has 2 home runs and 9 RBIs, 308 on base, 558 OPS, OPS plus of 62, so he's been really bad this year. Like I said, he was a cool story last year, but he just looks overmatched at the plate right now. Got sent down the other day, so I think he'll probably get demoted down to a bronze. Former Brewer, we gotta talk about Avisail Garcia. He was great last year. I loved him as a Brewer. The Brewers didn't want to give him the money he wanted, Marlins did. Starting off as a bad investment. Not saying things won't change. One thing I've noticed with him throughout his career, he's an every other year kind of player. He's great one year, then he's god-awful the next. Great, then he's just terrible. And it's looking like this season's one of the really bad ones. He's hitting 176 with a 211 on base percentage, 1 home run and 4 RBIs, 452 OPS, and a 32 OPS plus. The Marlins paid this man quite a bit of money to be in the middle of their lineup. Shit, at this rate, he might not even be the starter for very long. I love Avi, but he's off to a horrendous start right now. And he's already an 80, so he's right on that bridge between a silver and a gold. So it's not going to take much for him to get that boot. Last downgrade I want to talk about is probably pretty surprising and one that I don't see happening, but it's one to talk about. And I'm going with Shane Bieber of the Cleveland Guardians. Don't get me wrong, he's a really good starting pitcher. But when he came back last year, it looked kind of rough. This year, he has a 4.13 ERA. Most of them came in his last game. I just don't think he's up to that diamond pitcher standards. Strikeout numbers are considerably down. He averaged 14.2 in his Cy Young year, 12.5 last year. He's down to 8 so far. So the swing and miss stuff isn't exactly there. So right there alone, you could see a decrease in the Ks per 9. Just keep an eye on him for at least the coming weeks. But there you have it, boys. Those are my upgrades and downgrades. We have a roster update on Friday, and if it's anything like last one, there's going to be hundreds of new players getting upgraded and downgraded. And I named like 25. So let me know in the comment section what some of your predictions are. As always, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.